It's a Christmas miracle. Yes, indeed. Those Cleveland Brownies stunned the Pittsburgh Squealers and they won the game 13-6. Welcome to our Fanatical Elves post-game show here and running solo. If anybody wants to comment, watching us live here on YouTube, the X, thanks to Steve Hemmerich, will allow us to use your X page. Facebook, you can listen to us later on Apple or on Spotify or anywhere you listen to your podcast. Type in Fanatical Elves or find us those other locations at Elves Network. We'd love for you to subscribe to us on our YouTube page, our TikTok page, all the above. Oh, everything is so much sweeter, is it not, when the Browns win? And not only did they win today, but they beat the damn Pittsburgh Squealers. It doesn't matter if we don't win a game all season long. If we can beat the Squealers, it makes everything so much better. Everything tastes better. Everything smells better. It's just better. We hate, especially us old school Browns fans, we hate those Pittsburgh Squealers and serve them right, damn straight. They had their stupid game plan to go away from Myles Garrett and do whatever they could so that Myles Garrett wouldn't get the sack record today was hilarious, and it got everybody in Pittsburgh on their offense out of sync. Aaron Rodgers was not himself, which is fine with us. And the Browns hung on at the end with some just outstanding defense throughout the game. You got to give some props to the Brownies, especially defensively. And no, Myles Garrett did not break the record today. He did not record a sack. So he will get his opportunity next week when the Browns travel for their last game of the season to Cincinnati to play the Joe Burrow, who Myles Garrett loves Joe Burrow. We'll see how they do in that game. You can't guarantee that he's going to break the record, but certainly there's a good opportunity. It was also nice to see in this game, before we get to that game next week, Tony Romo and the Jim Nance covered the game, which was, I did not know that they were on the play-by-play on the TV cast. So that was pretty cool. Just, it started out well, for the Brownies. There are so many things to talk about in this game. Let me see. I'm just scrolling through our X page here. So let me do a couple things while we get started here. Again, shout out to Hemisphere Coffee Roasters too. They sponsor our show. They shake the hand of the farmer, and you can go find their link on our X page there and go buy some coffee, and you can help us with 15% that goes toward our podcasters here on the network. Let me go look here real quick. Wow, everything's just so much better, isn't not, when we have the Browns win? And things start out with a bang here for the Browns. Their Shador Sanders was outstanding. Outstanding. Harold Fannin, who was struggling with a hamstring injury, unfortunately re-injured it on the play that he scored the touchdown, which was amazing. Those two have a real good chemistry, and they can really build on that going in the next season. And I know there are a lot of you out there who are, maybe not pro Shador Sanders, and you're concerned and you want to draft somebody high in this draft again. Mendoza or Damian Moore or Damon Moore or whatever the kid's name is. But Shador Sanders is doing some really good things. And I appreciated listening to Tony Romo, who played the quarterback position. And he made some good observations, especially early on in this game, about Shador and Shador being a rookie and still learning the game and learning how to move his eyes and see where the openings are to get the ball out to. And he did some good things. Shador did some good things with that, but he also didn't do some good things with that. And so that was pointed out by Tony Roman. I think it was good information. The opportunities were there early for the Browns. Their first drive, they ended up stalling, but they got Andre Schmitz, the rookie kicker, who has been really amazing. I think I mentioned this on my Johnny Cleveland show the other day, but before this game, he was like 20 for 23 on field goals, and he'd only missed one extra point. I know some people were really disturbed at what happened at the beginning of the year. He missed a couple. So, really, the kid has been dynamite. He's really been outstanding. And even Shador was asked a question about him today. And Shador just talked about how he's had these conversations with Andre Schmitz since the beginning of the season when Shador didn't have any sense that he was going to be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns the latter part of the season. We kind of thought it might happen, but at that point early on in the year when Schmitz missed a field goal or two in that Cincinnati game and struggled early on, he worked through it. The Green Bay game, where he kicked the winning field goal. I was there in attendance covering that game for Northeast Ohio Sports Insiders, and it was a magical moment. And so you really have to give this kid props. I mean, he got there, kicked a 51-yard field goal to get the Browns on the board to take the 3-0 lead. And the Browns did a lot of good things. Their defense stopped the Steelers. The Steelers had some interesting play calls early on in the game. I don't know if those calls were changed at the line by 21-year veteran Aaron Rodgers, which is just hilarious to me. You think about the fact that Aaron Rodgers is a 21-year-old vet in the league, and Shador Sanders is what, 22 or 23. Just fascinates me when you see that sort of thing. So, I was looking at the stats here just to give you a sense too. This game was just one of those efforts where the Browns got off strong and then things cooled off, and I was pissed to high heaven like you were when that knucklehead for the Brownies, number 5, somebody remind me his name, Jenkins. What a boneheaded mistake on his part. Now, some people will say, oh, they shouldn't have thrown the flag, and I was texting with some other Browns fans and colleagues here at the Fanatical Elves, like, why did they throw that? Well, I watched that moment live like you did on TV, and I knew, and maybe you knew too. The kid standing over, walking, talking. You could tell that he was talking. Maybe he wasn't standing right over him, but he was talking at the squealer, giving him some of his own, words. And you just knew when he was standing there, and there was a ref nearby. It's like, dude. And then the moment they panned away from that, you could see the ref starting to pull out his flag. I'm like, oh shoot, that is just boneheaded. Again, don't blame the refs. It's ticky tack. I get it, but he didn't have to open his gosh dang mouth. He didn't have to do that. He did it anyway. He did it anyway because he's a hothead, and that's where the coaching of the Browns has to get better. And I know Stefanski wasn't happy with that, and from what I heard and what people said they saw, I mean, he I think ripped into him on the sideline afterwards. I wouldn't have played the kid. I would have benched him for the rest of the half. I mean, maybe he's important, but he's not that important. You can't find another guy to replace him for a few plays. I think they did take him out the one play, but I saw him back in. But those are knucklehead plays. I thought at the time it changed kind of the trajectory of the game because the Browns did right before that. Uh, uh, Correct me if I'm wrong, but right before that, they got the touchdown with Harold Fannin, where Shador threw kind of a wobbly pass. But to be honest, if it was any other kind of pass, I don't know if he completes it to Harold Fannin. Harold Fannin, recognized the pass was a little short, was able to come back for it, allowed the other defender to run by it, didn't get touched, rolled himself into the end zone for the touchdown. And then it was the next drive that Jenkins did that stupid decision of his to get the flag. But in the end, the Browns got up at half. They were up 10-6, and it stayed that way for the entire second half. And it felt, and it was, the Steelers literally had the ball the entire second half. And if you look at the play calls and how it all broke down, the Steelers ran 65 plays to the Browns 50 plays. But the time of possession and all of that was really relatively the same because the Browns held on to the ball quite a bit in the first half. It was he lit it up early on. Shador finished 17 for 23 for 186 yards. He made some boneheaded mistakes again with some interceptions. He had the one that got tipped again that was intercepted, and then there was another one that was intercepted. So not good decisions. Well, the second one, there's some debate about that because we've talked about Jerry Jeudy, the veteran wide receiver, and Shador threw a pass not in good position, not with good footwork, got a little air under the ball. And when you saw that, you saw the opponent that was defending Jerry Jeudy. They were both standing there. And Jerry Jeudy did not react quick. And the defender for Pittsburgh was able to box him out like they do in basketball and was able to get the interception. Some people are complaining that should Jerry Jeudy have done more? Watched a lot of football in my day, and as you have probably, he could have done a lot more. Jerry Jeudy could have done a lot more with that play if he wanted to, but he chose not to. Jerry Jeudy has been a liability to this team all season long. And yes, there were some good catches that he made today that extended drives, especially early in the game. Good job to Jerry Jeudy. He actually led the team with receptions, 5 for 54 yards with a 10, almost an 11-point average, but it's a little too late, right? Jerry Jeudy has had a crappy season, and thankful for him today, but he did not do his part in that play. Obviously, Shador Sanders didn't do his part when he threw the interception, but Jerry Jeudy, the veteran, could have helped him out a little bit more. Jerry Jeudy has argued with Shador Sanders in public on the sideline. Jerry Jeudy is the veteran. He's supposed to be a little bit better than that. Jerry Jeudy has made countless mistakes this season, dropping passes. Game 1 against the Cincinnati Bengals pops right off of his chest for an interception. These are opportunities after opportunities that Jerry Jeudy has done that have just been stupid. We've talked about this a couple weeks ago when I'm trying to think who he played, but he caught the ball and he's dancing there. Has no sense that there's a guy, even though he saw the guy chasing him, when he then turned his back, how he forgot that the guy was behind him is beside me. I have no idea. I think that Jerry Jeudy is not very smart as a player. I don't think he understands football very well. I think he's a good I think he can catch the ball, but as far as the X's and the O's and all that fun stuff for Jerry Jeudy, he's not a very good wide receiver. The Denver Broncos gave up on the guy, and there isn't a fan in Denver that was not unhappy that they got rid of Jerry Jeudy. We'll continue to have Jerry Jeudy probably going into the next season, but hey, he made a few catches today, but that one play in particular, he could have done a little bit more. Shador Sanders is still learning. He shouldn't have thrown the ball. I know that some of you are complaining that he should have not thrown the ball in that spot. Granted, I'll give you that, but he did. And the fact that he did and his veteran wide receiver didn't respond to at least try to knock it down from the defender was unfortunate. So hopefully that gets corrected and we can see some better things in the game against Cincinnati next week between the two if Jerry Jeudy decides to play and put in some good time there. Again, it came down to the defense. Carson Schwetzinger, the linebacker for the Browns. Wow. You want to talk about a Herculean effort by this kid. My God, he's like Rocky, man. He's got probably every issue in the book. And he couldn't hardly even walk. And he was out there trying to play football. And he got the game ball from Coach Stefanski at the end of the game. And I think Stefanski shouted out the F-bomb multiple times in congratulating his team. And just some good stuff. Just to look at here at the defense, and let me look here. Schwetzinger had 3, so he's credited for 9 tackles today to go with his 147 tackles on the season. So he had 3 of his own tackles and 6 tackles that he assisted. And Stefanski, like I said, gave him the game ball. Some good stuff there. Stefanski was very into it. I know a lot of people now have been talking, what does this do? Well, let's talk about that on the other side of the break. This is the Fanatical Elves post-game show where we're talking about a Christmas miracle. The Browns stun the Steelers today and win 13-6. We'll be right back. We're back here on a wonderful victory Sunday night, victory Monday tomorrow as the Browns beat the Pittsburgh Squealers. They did. They really did. They beat them 13-6 today. Everything just is so much better. Everything smells better. Everything tastes better. Everything is just better. when the Browns beat the Pittsburgh Squealers. So the conversation, there's multiple conversations going on right now out there in La La Land. There are a lot of stupid takes right now, and it's hard to stay off of La La Land. It's hard to stay away from the X and all this crap that we want you to follow us too here on the Fanatical Elves Network. But some of the stuff that's out there is just mind blowing. We won, and I'm glad some of the players like Myles Garrett talked about in their post game conference that they could care less about draft position. And I know drafting for the Cleveland Browns organization is like the Super Bowl for us, but it's great when you get a high draft pick, but who cares? We just beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. Be happy that your team, your organization won a football game in the NFL. It doesn't happen all the time. You should know that by now, Browns fans. But now this lowers the position. I don't know where. I haven't even looked, and I don't even care right now. But maybe we don't draft first, second, or third. Who cares? And Myles Garrett shared that opinion today. Like, we're going out there to win. That's what he's saying. We're going out there to win. I'm going to line up against the guy. I'm going to fight tooth and nail. I'm going to win this game for our team, for the Cleveland organization, for the Browns, for the team that they play for. The Browns have not had a great season. We all know that. Now, Kevin Stefanski. We talked about this in the pregame show. Steve Gill and I, who has the Dog Pound Style show coming up later on Monday. Joel Patonio talked, or veteran, earlier in the week about having Stefanski's back. And there are a lot of people in La La Land who are talking about wanting Stefanski to be fired. I've talked about Stefanski probably needs to be fired. They won a game. Let's say they win again next week against Cincinnati. It's still 5 wins, 12 losses. Is it an improvement on a 3-14 season? Absolutely. Statistically, factually, it is an improvement. And the Haslams, D and Jimmy Haslam, stated that last year at their press conference in the training camp that they needed to see improvement. So from a factual point, it is an improvement. So there's that. Though some of you and I don't always want to abide by that rule of thumb, it is true. It did happen. The Browns do have a better record than last year. Is it probably where the ownership was expecting this team to be? Hell no. And when you look at the AFC North, my God, I mean, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cincinnati, this was a season for the taking, and we didn't take advantage of that. So that's the real heartbreaking part of this. I guess on the other hand, we have identified a group of new first-year rookies that have been absolutely out of this world. Mason Graham, Carson Swetchinger, Quinshawn Junkins, I talked earlier just about Andre Schmitz, Harold Fannin, and Shador Sanders. For God's sakes, man, Shador, after his 6th start now, did some good things. Again, he is looking the role, and he's seemingly, in my opinion, calmer and more aware, even though there were some moments that he made some mistakes. He's aware of that pocket. He's aware of where to go with the ball. They were showing individual plays where Shador was able to get the ball past the initial line and in between the linebackers and the safeties and things like that. And that's some real growth. And I think Shador talked about that in his post-game conference. I didn't catch it all, but they were asking him about how he's improved since the time that they played the Ratbirds. Let me pause here for a quick Diet Coke. Diet Coke wants to sponsor the Fanatical Elves Network. We'd love that. I'm running out of I'm tired of talking, right? No, never on a podcast should we ever be tired of talking. So, the Browns got to win, and I hope that this will carry you all into the new year of 2026 with a positive vibe. Now, we play the Cincinnati Bengals next weekend to close out the year. I don't know if the game time's been decided. I'm assuming it's going to be an early game because both teams are out of the playoff picture. We tend to have some pretty good history against Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, so it should be fun as we go down there to Cincinnati. But in the end, it's one of those, this game, this moment for the Browns, it's going to have us all talking. all week. Does this game save Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry from being fired? Some of my colleagues say absolutely yes. I'm I would say yes. I'm pretty sure you're probably right, but this is a good win for the Browns. This is a good win for the Browns. I don't think that they're going. I don't think these players. This is a game where they save Kevin Stefanski's job, but it certainly helps, and it helps because when you see this team and how hard they're playing, and that's the other part of this that we're concerned about as fans. It's like you're playing so hard in this game. Are you doing that the entire season? Is your focus entirely committed to winning? And that's something I don't know if we've seen, right? Your team is 4 wins and 12 losses right now, 4 wins and 12 losses. Obviously, the focus and the attention to detail has not been there, or the Browns would have the opposite record. They would have a lot more wins than losses. But because of mistakes with special teams, and I don't know about you, but every time there was a punt, I was holding my breath that our kick returner or punt returner would not fumble the ball. Did not. We had good punts ourselves by Borquez, right? So those are good things. So these are all things that, again, are positives. And man, the Browns defense, they were outstanding today. And the Pittsburgh Squealers, they tried a few things here and there, and they were determined not to let Myles Garrett sack them. And it got Aaron Rodgers all bent out of shape. He just didn't look himself. He didn't look like a 21-year-old vet the way he was throwing passes away. He was hell bent on not letting Myles Garrett have that record. I thought that was pretty funny, and it created a loss for the Squealers. So Squealers now and the Ratbirds. Ratbirds, yeah, you Ratbird fans, Ratbird hate, man. You guys owe us one. You guys owe us one. God, that's gonna. I don't know who I. Well, obviously, for me, I think it will always be the Steelers. They hate most, but the Ratbirds, man, such a close. I don't know. They stole our team. Art Modell, bastards, right? They stole our team. So it's so hard to even. I don't even want to think about those other two teams, right? Ugh. All right. So we'll see what happens this week. Maybe a lot of people talking, but I hope all of you will. If you're a Browns fan, you'll take a deep breath. You'll sit back. You'll know that it's the New Year's right around the corner. This was a Christmas miracle. What a great Christmas gift. What a gift. What a gift we got today. The Browns now are 6-1-1 since 2017 against the Squealers. 6 wins, 1 loss, and 1 tie since 2017. That is pretty awesome. Enjoy that the rest of your evening. I hope you sleep well. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. I hope you have a great, great new year. We have lots of good shows, including There's a Gleam with Steve Hemrich. He and his buddy John will have a show, I believe, on Wednesday afternoon, recounting all of the greatness that happened today on Sunday, along with a variety of other shows. Dog Pound South coming up tomorrow with Steve Gill. All of my Jenny Cleveland podcasts coming up later this week. Browns Blitz with Rod Bloom, Sam Britton with Browns Breakdowns, Stirring the Pot. See when that's going to be. Usually it's with Lou Marconi and myself. Not sure if it's going to be tomorrow night like it traditionally is, but we will keep you posted. What other? Burning River Browns talk with Lou at the end of the week, so tune into that as well. If I forgot, Joel Cade, what the elf was that with his colleague Matt? Great stuff there. So tune in for all these shows, part of the Fanatical Elves Network. You can follow us. Please follow us. Subscribe to us on Apple, Spotify, anywhere you listen to your podcast. We're there. Google, yeah, Fanatical Elves Network. If you're on TikTok, thanks for following us. We're growing our brand there. Follow us there at Elves Network, ELFZNETWORK. All right, go Browns. It's a win, boys. It's a win, ladies. It's a win, Browns fans. Here we go, Brownies. Here we go.